Hi, I'm Joe Noga. We're previewing the college football playoff semifinal in the Sugar Bowl on January 1st by talking to a beat writer from each team with a different question each day. We have Doug Lesmerises, who covers Ohio State for cleveland.com, and Michael Casagrande, an Alabama beat writer for AL.com. Guys, our topic today: what might be an offensive weakness for each team? Doug, let's start with you, and then we'll go right to Michael.
Well, if you look at the stats, Joe, there have not been many weaknesses for this Ohio State offense this year. One of the highest scoring teams in the country, up there in the most yards for the country. Now, it's going to be interesting. Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, the guy who calls the plays, is the new head coach at the University of Houston. So that is going to be a little bit of an adjustment. He's still going to be here through the bowl game, but he is going to have some split priorities here. He has some things he has to do, but I don't think that's going to affect this team that much offensively. But, it is something to think about. I think a possible weakness for this team, though, is with Cardale Jones at quarterback now. After the injury to J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones made his first start against Wisconsin. He clearly stood in the pocket and made some throws against the Badgers, but he looked a little uncertain in the run game. And J.T. Barrett at quarterback, just as Braxton Miller was a big part of the run game for Ohio State this year. 938 yards for J.T. Barrett on the ground in 2014. Cardale Jones had, I think it was 9 carries for 8 yards against Wisconsin. Looked a little uncertain in that zone read option game, and that's a big thing for Ohio State if they have a threat at quarterback running it as well as at running back. So especially against a Nick Saban defense, I think a quarterback who can scramble and run is a big deal, and I think that threat of the quarterback run is a big deal. Cardale Jones is a big athletic guy. I think he maybe can do that. He just didn't show it much against Wisconsin. Maybe he didn't need to because everything else was working. But I do think that quarterback run game is important in this game, and I think it's a little uncertain with Cardale Jones right now.
Doug, Joe, I think obviously that the weakness for Alabama, it was exploited the most in that Arkansas game when the Razorbacks were able to stop Amari Cooper, when they were able to bracket him with coverage. It's kind of the trickle-down effect. It was by far the worst offensive game of the season. Cooper had just 22 yards, 2 catches, was neutralized about all the game. A couple passes almost intercepted when passes were forced at him in that situation. It trickled down to the running game where he ran for 66 yards, probably one of the lowest of all time for a win. Alabama was able to win that game 14-13, but Arkansas completely shut down the offense most of the game. There were 3-and-outs, by far the most 3-and-outs of the season. I think it all came back to their ability to stop Amari Cooper in the way the offense was never really able to get into that rhythm that they were able to establish most times when Cooper gets going with the short passes and then working to the deep passes.